Hey guys, with Christmas rapidly approaching and 2024 right around the corner, I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about some skill sets that I think that are important for all of us, whether we spend any time traveling or whether we're homebodies. Some of these things are rather important, and I think we should maybe consider some of these as part of our skill set and give you some idea for perhaps some Christmas gift ideas or goal planning for 2024. Number one on my list is learning how to work a map and a compass. It is incredibly easy, but incredibly important. I watched a movie recently, and I know it was a script. It was about a guy who was in a rural area in his car, and his GPS was broken. He didn't know, he could not navigate. And this guy was actually to the point of tears because he didn't know how to, he didn't have a map, he didn't have a compass, and he was just lost. And it's sad that there are many guys, many people who don't know how to work a map and compass. A compass is easy. It simply points to magnetic North Pole, which, by the way, is a little bit different than geographic North Pole, depending on where you're at. In our region, in Eastern Virginia, it's actually 11 degrees difference. When I started flying airplanes back in the early 70s, it was 7 degrees. That's because the magnetic North Pole moves a little bit. So it's important to know those nuances. Nice thing about a compass, it always works. It doesn't need batteries. It doesn't need a Wi-Fi connection. It always points towards magnetic north, providing you're not next to a bunch of iron deposits or you haven't actually broken your compass. You know, for me, it's sort of an old skill set that I've had forever and a day. Not only was I using it to fly airplanes back pre-GPS, the Air Force even saw it important to send me to an Air Force map and compass school, which lasted, if memory serves, about 2 weeks of land navigation and orienteering, which is very handy. Next is learning basic first aid. Whether you're traveling or whether you spend time in your urban area, a first aid is really critical. The average response time in the United States for emergency medical services is 7 minutes. A lot can happen in 7 minutes if you're not prepared. It's very important to understand the basics of life-saving skills that you could learn in any Red Cross first aid class or even watching YouTube videos. So learn how to do basic first aid. You never know, it actually might save a life. And to reemphasize the importance of first aid, Miriam and I have just subscribed to an online course, which we'll give some feedback on later. It's an interactive course developed by an emergency room physician for wilderness first aid, and we're going to be taking that. Miriam has never really had much advanced first aid training. I have as a former police officer, and I've had to use it from time to time, but it doesn't hurt to rehone those skills and to get up-to-date information. Next, if you spend any time in the wilderness environment, whether you're driving down a road or hiking a trail or overlanding it, you may want to consider taking some wilderness survival training. Wilderness survival training is not as complex as you might think. It's not about learning how to hunt food and skin it and prepare a meal. Basically, wilderness survival is how to stay alive for the first 48 hours in a wilderness environment until rescue can come and find you. That's the typical time it takes search and rescue to come find somebody who's lost or disoriented or needs help. So learning how to stay alive, and that can be, depending on the situation, trickier than you might think. So strongly recommend basic wilderness survival if you spend any time in the outdoors. The next skill set I strongly recommend you pick up, especially you guys, is learn how to cook. How to work a chef's knife and a cutting board. Once you've learned some basic skills, you'd be surprised how easy it is to prepare a nice gourmet meal for your significant other, and they will find that relatively impressive. Plus, many of us know how to throw a burger and a steak on the grill. This goes beyond that. Learn your way around the kitchen, guys. It will be to your advantage. Next is learn how to do public speaking. One of the things that drives me absolutely crazy is to listen to somebody who is supposed to be a professional information provider, and every fourth word is a filler word, and that they use the words like, and, you know, and that just drives me crazy. There was a classes available that are relatively inexpensive. Toastmasters International is one of the ones I recommend. I was a participant in Toastmasters for 6 years, and it really is quite well structured to provide you with the ability to speak in public and to get rid of any shyness you might have when it comes to speaking in public. The next topic is your wardrobe, your attire. We all like to dress casually when the situation provides it. We, as in our YouTube video, we dress casual. But there are times where we, as guys specifically, need to up our game a little bit. Need to wear a suit and tie. I think we should all have one in our wardrobe, whether we wear it or not. You never know when you're going to need to go to a wedding or a funeral or into a courtroom. And evidence is shown based on lots of studies that difference is paid to people who are better dressed than those who are not dressed well. And whether we agree with that concept or not, that's a fact of psychology, and you might as well use it to your advantage. There is nothing more disappointing than walking into a formal environment and to watch somebody dressed like a homeless person and don't understand why nobody gives them any respect. When I was still an active police officer, I would occasionally go to court and I would watch lawyers bring in their clients who were young, who had never owned a suit in their life, but they compelled them to buy a suit, and it fit like an oversized bag on them. And they might as well not even been wearing it. The sleeves were way too long, very baggy, didn't know how to tie a knot in their tie. The pants were very baggy and hung down below the bottoms of their shoes. Gentlemen, if you're a grown man, own at least one suit that you can show up on and bring your A game. No said about that. Now we're going to go into the business side of the equation. All of us throughout our life deal with contracts, whether it be purchasing a home, buying a car, or an assortment of things, including your credit card agreement is a contract. Each of the 50 states is a little bit different in exactly what a contract is and what it's not. Basically, a contract is the agreement between two parties to perform a specific act in exchange for goods and services, in exchange for other consideration. It does not necessarily need to be in writing. In many states, such as Virginia, a verbal contract is binding, provided you can prove it actually existed. In some cases, contracts must be in writing. For example, Virginia, a contract to buy or sell real estate must be in writing. So it's important to learn those simple nuances of what is a contract and what is not a contract so you can conduct your business affairs appropriately. Now we're going to flip the coin to the other side. I think it's also very important for all of us to understand basic home repairs and auto repairs. Learn how to turn a wrench, learn how to read a voltmeter, and learn to do basic repairs. How to replace a light switch, how to replace a light socket, how to change the oil in your own car. These things are quite handy and can save a lot of money. I was recently in a meeting, a business meeting, and the attorney I was working with informed me that they needed to leave early because they had to meet the plumber. And I said, gee, I hope it's nothing serious. He said, well, their toilet in the master bedroom would not stop running, so they hired a plumber. I'm thinking, the plumber will probably charge an hourly rate greater than what they are making as an attorney. Well, guys, that's my list of skill sets that I think is important for us to have. If there are others that you think are important that I didn't put in this list, please put them in the comments below, and perhaps we could do a follow-up video. So, guys, until next time, thanks for watching. Y'all take care. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our trouble-related content, just check out the rest of our channel. And don't forget to subscribe.